I skipped over a few things. When we did the season 6 finale on House, initially we thought that it would just be the very confined areas that we would shoot with the 5D because of, literally working on our bellies and stuff like that, and the time it would take to move the sets for every camera change and so on and so forth. The other sort of incredible thing that we discovered was, first of all, I love Canon glass. Canon lenses are, I'm sure there's lots of people that love Nikon lenses, and I'm sure they're beautiful lenses too, but I particularly love Canon lenses because of the fact that they can take amazing hits in the glass without flaring. And one of the first things that happens in a rescue situation is that they bring in those absolutely horrible rescue lights that you can buy from Home Depot and things like that. I call them double-headed monsters. They're kind of those things that some people use for really romantic barbecues. And there's like a 1K quartz and a 1K quartz on a horrible little stand that the dog will knock over, and then you'll catch the house on fire. But anyway.
They got safety cages on them?
Yeah, they've got safety cages on them too, but that's what they use. That's what emergency rescue crews use because they're very lightweight and you can rush them down tunnels. So basically the first series of shots that we did after the ER crews had arrived were basically lit with those hideous lights. And I believe in reality a lot in filmmaking. I really do believe in not over-romanticizing things for the point of making it look pretty. I really do believe in sometimes things need to look stark and they need to look uncomfortable and they need to look ugly, maybe going a bit far, but real is important. And so to light with those lights was probably one of the worst things I've ever done to a leading lady. And we had Lisa Cuddy down there who was lit with those. And obviously, when we went in closer, we tended to use diffusion and soften them and beautify the light the closer we got. But nevertheless, we were using those lights and they were screaming right into the Canon lenses. And the lenses stood up remarkably to those sorts of lights, and the internal lens reflections were really very minimal relative to an awful lot of other lenses that would cost 10 times more. And so that was another reason that we stayed with Canon lenses. A lot of people have converted their 5Ds or 7Ds and put PL mounts on them, and made it a lot easier because there are lenses like Canon compact primes, Zeiss compact primes. I'll get shot. Zeiss compact primes, but they cost an awful lot of money. I think they're
like $5,000 each.
Yeah, they're about $5,000 each, and so you buy a camera for $2,500, and then you stick a $5,000 lens on it. And then you need 6 of those.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like putting a solid gold roof rack on an old Volkswagen,
And they're so heavy that they actually have their own tripod mount.
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah, they take up the whole, they're about this big around.
And of course, focus pullers love them because stills lenses have very little barrel rotation between minimum focus and infinity because we don't have hands like an orangutan. If you had focus cine lenses and you were using them on a stills camera, you'd have to rotate your hand about 12 times to actually change focus, whereas...
the macro, I think, spins twice around. The 100 macro, you're just like...
Yeah, and
we're good.
That's what cinema lenses tend to do because usually the focus is done with a focus puller standing beside the camera, and he actually wants to see on the lens the difference between 5'9" and 5'6", and he can mark it on the lens. So therefore, there's a hell of a lot more barrel movement, which makes focus a lot easier because on a stills lens, they're designed to look through the viewfinder or use autofocus. If you're shooting stills. So they're not designed for cinematographic work. So it makes it really, really hard on the focus pullers, but nevertheless, we stuck with Canon lenses all the way through. And just because, they were economic, we could have a lot more lenses than for our buck than we could if we had gone to compact primes. And we already have huge numbers of lenses for our Zeiss cameras, but we just stuck with Canon lenses, and it was the best thing we did because it gave us this beautiful quality, and that became our MO. And then we started we started loving the way the episode looked, and so then the episode spread into shooting the entire episode with the 5D, apart from one shot. There's one shot in the entire episode, which we needed to do a high-speed shot, and of course, with the Canon system, you could only go 60 frames, and we needed a shot at 150 frames, so we just used a high-speed Ariflex camera for that one shot. But other than that, every single shot was 5D. When we, at some point very shortly, Stephen is going to go into explaining in great detail how we set up the cameras to capture maximum dynamic range, to get into the right color space, so that basically you get the very, very best out of using the camera. And this applies to every DSLR, not just the 5D, although the menu options, how you find these things, you'll have to figure out for yourself, but that's not too difficult once you know the basic principles involved. Because, without a doubt, when you take an image and then you compress the hell out of it, and you turn it into an 8-bit image, and I've got no idea. I mean, I do just about know what bits are, but Steve could probably explain that. It basically means there's a lot less data in the image that's captured, and if you compare a video frame compared to a raw frame on a 5D, the difference is staggering in terms of the difference in amount of data.
Yeah, I think it's 8K.
Yeah. But we stuck with the Canon lenses. We persevered with them, even though it was hell for the focus pullers. And again, we're going to go and show you how we actually managed to achieve it, even though it was hellish.